April 2026 is marking an absolutely massive, fundamental shift in technology. And welcome to the Explainer, where we are unpacking it all. If you've been following the AI space, you know things move fast. But what we're looking at today, pulling from a really fantastic deep dive on the new AI Tools 2026 blog, is literally a game changer. It's essentially the bye-bye GPT-4 moment we've been waiting for. We're talking about the true democratization of frontier-level AI. We're going to explore how this tech has evolved from something we merely talk to into something that actively works on our behalf, all powered by a brand new open-source hero.
Okay, let's dive into this. For the last couple of years, especially in 2024 and 2025, our relationship with AI was super one-directional, right? We were talking to it, we'd spend hours painstakingly crafting the perfect prompt, waiting for an answer, tweaking it, and doing the whole shebang all over again. But here in 2026, that era of simple prompting is effectively dead. We are now officially in the age of AI talking to AI. We've moved into the era of agentic workflows, where you aren't just getting answers anymore, you're orchestrating entire systems of digital workers.
In fact, our source material captures this shift perfectly with this brilliant quote: "The era of simple prompting is officially over. It's about building a digital assembly line." Think about that for a second. The secret to scaling your work, your business, or your creative output today isn't about finding a magic prompt. It's all about orchestration. It's about setting up automated pipelines where highly specialized AI agents collaborate to just get the job done.
So the crucial point here is understanding exactly what this looks like in practice. A digital assembly line is basically a series of autonomous AI agents linked together to execute a complete business process without needing a human stepping in at every single bottleneck. Imagine an assembly line where one agent handles deep market research, hands that data over to another agent that writes and formats the content, which then passes it to a third agent that optimizes it for search engines and actually schedules the publication. Your role completely elevates. You go from being the typist to being the manager. You only step in for the final approvals and strategic direction.
Now, for any of this to happen, we needed a serious breakthrough in local models. And that brings us to Google Gemma 4, specifically the 31 billion parameter model.
For this digital assembly line to actually work seamlessly and affordably on your own hardware, we needed a catalyst. And on April 2nd, Google DeepMind delivered exactly that. Gemma 4 was released under the Apache 2.0 license. This means it is completely free for personal, research, and commercial use. Guys, this is a massive win for digital sovereignty. You are not paying a usage tax every time your AI does a task. And more importantly, you have complete 100% control over your data. There are no data leaks to Google servers, meaning your proprietary workflows and company secrets don't accidentally become part of someone else's training data tomorrow. Everything stays safely on your local machine.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer performance packed into this model. Notice the benchmark for MLLU Pro at 85.2% and an incredible 89.2% on the AMIE 2026 reasoning benchmark, and that is without using external tools. Also, check out that 80% on Live Code Bench version 6. This dense 31 billion parameter model is actively outperforming massive models from 2025. It absolutely proves that a highly optimized, dense architecture is the winning formula for frontier-level reasoning right now.
And for the developers tuning in, this number should really grab your attention: 40%. That is the reduction in error rates for complex coding languages like Python and Rust when compared to last year's standard models. It isn't just generating code, it is generating remarkably accurate, production-ready code right out of the gate.
So how does it pull this off? Let's take a look under the hood at its agentic architecture. To understand how Gemma builds those autonomous workflows we just discussed, we have to look at its core. Gemma 4 isn't just a chatbot. It is driven by three key features built for action. First up, native function calling. This means it can use complex external tools, search the web, or trigger APIs right out of the box without any clunky workarounds. Second, it has an extended thinking mode. It literally possesses a native thought process where it double-checks its own logic and self-corrects before it ever hands you an output. And third, a massive 256K context window. This is huge. It means you can feed it entire software code bases, thousands of pages of legal texts, or massive technical manuals. It makes it the absolute perfect partner for local retrieval augmented generation, or RAG.
But it definitely doesn't stop at text. Gemma 4 includes a super sophisticated, roughly 550 million parameter vision encoder. It treats visual data with the exact same depth and nuance as text. It handles variable aspect ratios flawlessly, meaning you can ask it to parse a wildly complex, high-resolution engineering diagram or even have it automate user interface tasks just by identifying bounding boxes on your screen. It is a true multimodal powerhouse.
So, Let's see how our open-source David stacks up against the cloud Goliaths out there.
And this brilliantly illustrates why the new AI Tools blog is calling this a bye-bye GPT-4 era. Look at the deployment row at the bottom here. While models like Llama 370B require heavy, high-end servers to run locally, and GPT-4o Lite is locked entirely behind a cloud paywall, Gemma 431B gives you native thinking, a massive 256K context window, and full text plus image multimodal capabilities directly on a consumer GPU. All for free under the Apache 2.0 license. It completely levels the playing field and democratizes access to state-of-the-art reasoning.
Plus, there is a massive environmental and cost benefit here too. Those 400 billion plus parameter models, they require an unbelievable amount of electricity, literally almost enough to dim the lights in your neighborhood. Gemma 431B delivers roughly 90% of the intelligence of those giant models, but uses only 15% of the power. It is an incredibly energy-efficient, sustainable approach to running everyday AI.
All right, let's get to the fun part. How you can actually run Gemma 4 locally on your own machine.
All of this sounds amazing in theory, but the most important part of this explainer is empowering you to actually use it. Let's look at the highly actionable steps for getting this running today. It's basically a straightforward 4-step process. Step 1 is the system check. For the quantized version, you're going to need about 24 gigabytes of VRAM, so something like an RTX 3090 or 4090. For full precision, you're looking at 48 gigabytes plus or an Apple Mac Studio with an M2 or M3 Ultra chip. Step 2, pick your platform. You can use Hugging Face for research or Google Cloud Vertex AI for enterprise scaling, but honestly, Ollama is by far the easiest for local use. Then, step 3 is the installation itself, and finally, step 4 is plugging it into agent frameworks like Crew AI or AutoGen so it can start working autonomously.
I actually want to pause on step 3 for just a second because it is astonishing how easy this has become. If you have Ollama installed, you literally just open your terminal and type Ollama run Gemma 431B. Boom, that is it. It downloads the weights and launches a fully functioning, secure, private, frontier-level AI right on your desktop. Once it's running, you unlock some incredible advanced capabilities. Because it's local, you have absolute zero latency, no waiting on cloud server queues or dealing with outages. It also features massive multilingual support, trained seamlessly on global languages including Punjabi and Hindi. But maybe the most powerful feature is its support for hyper-efficient fine-tuning using QLoRa. This means you can train Gemma 4 on your specific brand voice or your company's proprietary vocabulary in just a few hours using a standard mid-range GPU.
So, what does this look like in the wild? Let's check out some real-world applications.
The applications of this secure, localized Agentic Power are incredibly broad and deeply impactful. In legal and compliance, professionals are utilizing that 256K context window to locally cross-reference thousands of pages of sensitive documents without ever risking client confidentiality by sending it to the cloud. In medical research, practitioners are analyzing high-resolution medical scans alongside textual patient histories at the exact same time. And in the creative arts, the advanced reasoning is generating intricate prompts for video AI. In fact, our source drops a fantastic pro tip for bloggers and content creators. Switch Gemma 4 into its native thinking mode and ask it to generate semantic SEO keywords. Because it reasons through the intent rather than just blindly matching words, it uncovers unique angles that the paid SEO tools completely miss.
So, here is the ultimate takeaway. Google Gemma 4 proves you no longer need an expensive, massive cloud subscription to access world-class agentic artificial intelligence. The power to build your own digital assembly line is quite literally sitting right in front of you. The frontier is totally open. So my question to you is, are you ready to build your autonomous future? Don't just watch this AI revolution unfold from the sidelines. Download the weights, fire up your terminal, and start building. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I absolutely cannot wait to see what you create.